Excuse me?
It's Monday. How exciting.
Was that a cry for help?
No, I hope not. It's the 13th day of October, oyster season coming on strong, beginning the
Yay.
15th, by the way, officially. They'll be legal to harvest, but I will wait until we have some cooler temperatures, let the water chill down, and wait for the salt water from the big, beautiful Atlantic to replace the rainwater that has diluted the oyster grounds. Oh boy, did we get some rain. Don't get fooled about the opening day of deer season this year. It was traditionally the 15th. This part of the state, it's the 18th this year, so don't go hunting on Wednesday, the 15th. If you do, you're going to lose your gun. You're going to pay the price. You could check the wildlife rules before heading to the woods as well. There are different zones in North Carolina for deer hunting. We're in the southeastern zone here. Then you got the northeastern. Then you got all that mess out there toward the political arena. So it's a bunch of stuff going on out there. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown, and you need to saddle up this morning. Get ready.
Good morning. I'm Lee Barrows. Yeah, he's already warned me before he even got here. I got a few things to say.
Well, not bad things, just some stuff. I had a lot of water. First up, today is celebrated as Columbus Day. Y'all probably, maybe some of y'all remember studying about that explorer, Christopher Columbus, who was thought to be an Italian, but that's been challenged. He was sponsored by Spain's king and queen to look for a shorter route by water to Asia using artificial intelligence. They did. 1.1. It was assumed that finding an ocean route would be shorter and safer and allow better business, and it would be cheaper to buy spices and other stuff over in China and surrounding area. Heading somewhat westward from Europe with a broken GPS device, the wayward Italian sailor got lost, landed on what we know as a Bahamian island, and thought he had found some location in Asia. The arrival date was actually the 12th of October in the year 1492. Do you remember the little ditty that we learned before studying Columbus? Come on.
No, not enough that I could repeat it right now. As you start, I'll remember.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Ocean blue, right? Okay.
That's all I remember. But that's all I needed to know. He set sail in 1492. Took about 6 weeks of sailing out there. Not knowing where you were. I guess that's not too bad. All total, Columbus actually made 4 trips in search of Asia. He explored the islands in the Caribbean, over towards Mexico, actually kidnapped some Indians from one of the islands and took them back to Spain, along with gold and silver that he stole. Made the king and queen very happy. Well, that's what happened. Christopher died before he was to learn just how significant his explorations would become. Died fairly young man. Born in 1850 something, I think.
It's a very controversial holiday also.
Yeah, it is because of that, kidnapping the natives there in the Bahamas.
Well, people claim that it initiated colonization, violence, and the enslavement of the indigenous people. And that's why some people prefer to call Columbus Day, instead of Columbus Day, Indigenous Day. People's Day. Yeah. So I know the city of Jacksonville.
It's confusing.
Right. City of Jacksonville does.
Well, it is officially Columbus Day.
Yes.
And you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's known as Columbus Day. That's what I grew up knowing it as. And that's just the way it is.
The same.
Anybody got any real news this morning other than the
violence around the country this weekend?
No, the little bit of rainfall we got over the weekend. Yeah. We had some rain here, y'all.
Yes, we did.
The rains came kind of hard at times, but we seemed to be able to digest all of the extra water that was coming down just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Only 2 weeks ago, the 1st of September. What month is this? October.
October.
North Carolina was experiencing drought conditions, including a large part of eastern North Carolina under drought conditions. Another 53% of the state was considered abnormally dry. No longer that problem. Um, we'll have to wait until Tuesday, tomorrow, for the drought monitoring data to be posted. Did you know there's a drought monitoring department?
Yes, I did.
And they monitor this stuff.
Yes, I did. There's
And
a whole page devoted to it.
And on a weekly basis, they post the results about where we are drought wise and throughout the state. So we'll have to wait until tomorrow. But it's safe to say that here in Onslow County, we're not under a drought.
I know.
And we will not have any woods fires today.
Yeah, last week we had gone from previously being in a drought to a moderate drought. So after this weekend, maybe we've climbed up a little further.
Yeah, before the coastal storm that we went through, all of the coastal counties south of Cape Lookout were in the abnormally dry category. Further inland, conditions were worse. Most of the heavy rains came along the southeast coast. Even around here, the accumulations varied all over the place. At the studio from midnight Sunday, yesterday morning, we had, what did I say we had? We had about 1 point, we had just under an inch here, officially. That was from midnight yesterday morning. 24 plus 7 hours. That's 31 hours. Over 31 hours, we had a little over an inch of rain.
Same with me. Yes, yes.
And you had about the same thing over there in the Northwoods area, Woodlands. And most of our guys here on the ham radio, with and at this morning, they were saying about the same thing, an inch here. So we'll get into that when we get into the weather a little bit later on. The winds were generally steady here, 4 to 5, 6, 7 miles per hour. Had a few gusts, and I had one gust hit 14 miles per hour yesterday. Throughout the weekend, the winds were switching around as the storm moved along the coastline, generally west to southwest in the beginning, switching to the northeast later Sunday, and then to the south this morning. So it's been pretty much around the compass.
Yes.
It's hard to tell what's going on. As the storm moves through, the winds will change because the winds on one side of the storm are going to be different than on the other side. Off the coast, rainfall was heavy in pockets. Offshore, Saturday evening between 7 and 8 o'clock, data buoys off the southern coast reported wind gusts of 54 knots at 65 miles per hour and waves topping 15 feet. That was at one of the data buoys about 25 miles off the coast. Yo!
I spent the weekend watching different websites that had cameras, web cameras out there on the beach at Hatteras.
Kind of wet, wasn't it?
And Redempthi and
sand blowing probably too, wasn't it?
It was the one greenhouse that's still left out there. That's like right now looks like it's in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's not though, but it just kept taking a beating and a beating, and it's still standing. And then it did some drone video also of beaches along the coastline and houses along the coastline. And let me tell you, there's a whole nother row of houses now that have become front road, and they were in the water. So what a mess it was. But
they're little islands unto themselves.
I have to say kudos to DOT, though. They were out there continuously the whole weekend scraping Highway 12.
Yeah, well, it was blocked there on Okogo.
Yeah, it was. As of last night, it still had one section of it that was closed down because of the water. But DOT was out there scraping sand off the road all weekend long.
They're going to end up having a bridge from one end of that whole island chain
what
to
a
the
mess
other.
it is. And, people have to stop and think. These houses were built 30, 40 years ago.
Or more.
And where they were built was not on the edge of the water.
Nope.
Well, we've had so much erosion over the years, that what used to be the edge of the beach has moved tremendously inland.
And the idiots who do these things, and they are idiots, they keep plowing, pushing sand back and adding sand to the front. This is mama nature.
Yes, it is.
You cannot win in a battle with nature.
And I was reading a lot of comments, and people were like, "Why don't they move the houses?" Well, you pick a house up and move it. You've got to have a lot of money to begin with.
It's going to come apart.
It's going to come apart, and it's just these are people from further west that don't understand the perils of living on the beach. But it was crazy, and I sent you the video. Did I send it to you? The one of all the sharks at North Topsail at the pier?
Still got to work on that one. So, yeah, there was a
frenzy of
looked
them.
like a feeding frenzy there. Don't know why. Nobody explained it, and I didn't see enough good video to be able to determine. They were shot from a pier.
Yeah, I counted 15, but it's kind of hard to count.
Some of them you counted twice, likely.
Yeah, it could be, or some I didn't count at all. But yeah, it was a frenzy of. My first thought was somebody threw something over the pier.
It's and guys do that. They'll take whatever their old trash fish or extra bait or whatever, or somebody. If the pier had been open, I don't think it's open.
People have been fishing,
but I don't think the pier house is open.
Yeah,
most of the piers are not. They start closing down, and people would go out there if they clean their fish, or if the restaurant or whatever is open, they sometimes could go out there in the shallows and drop over some leftover, not garbage, but disposable stuff.
Right.
And it's not bad to feed critters out there. I'm not sure. People who swim along the beaches don't like anybody throwing stuff into the water. They don't like the cleaning stations on the fishing piers, but all the piers have a cleaning station, and everything that you go up there and you clean your fish, all that stuff goes straight down into the water. It's recycling. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, but it also attracts critters, and some of those critters happen to be predators. And some of the people who are there, they don't like it. Some of those same people who don't like that, they don't like surf fishermen, because surf fishermen are out there throwing fishing lines with bait on it into the ocean near shore, because they don't get out very far.
Yeah, go ahead and swim near the pier.
I wouldn't swim near the pier. It's just it's a bad situation.
I told you, ever since Jaws came out, that ruined my beach days.
Currently, Oslo and Carteret counties remain under a coastal flood advisory. That's going to happen, stay that way through 5 o'clock this afternoon. 1 to 2 feet of inundation above ground level in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways is a problem. Dangerous, potentially deadly rip currents and breaking waves in the surf zone will make swimming hazardous. Some roads and low-lying property, including parking lots, parks, lawns, and homes adjacent to the waterfronts, not just at the beach, will experience shallow flooding. The rip currents, like I said, they can sweep even the best of swimmers away from shore into deeper water. You step out there, just want to go wash your feet off in about a foot of water, and that water that's rushing in, up and down the beach, crossing over the sandbar that's there, it goes rushing out through one spot. It's called a rip current. It eats its way through the sandbar, going out, and all of that water that came in up and down the beach will go out through that inlet. And if you happen to be standing there, it can knock you down. And once you're down, you're going to be pulled out and out and out and tumbled over and over and over. Just keep your head above water, folks. Just keep your head above water. Don't struggle to try to swim back in or fight it. You're not going to fight a rip current and win. You fight a rip current, you lose. Period.
Well, have we heard any more?
No, I haven't heard. I've checked. I haven't found anything about the young man who disappeared. Forgot which day it was. God.
Last Sunday?
No.
Has it been? No, it was middle. I
think it was during the week. But anyway, a 17-year-old Jacksonville youngster, Jacksonville area kid, he and several others decided to make their way at low tide to a sandbar. And, they could just walk over to it. But then the tide starts coming in, and they said, well, we got to get back to shore. Well, the tide comes in fast. and the current is strong, and a rip current was there, and rough seas. I mean, the ocean was extremely rough anyway. So 3 of them made it, and he did not. Don't know where. They had not recovered the body at the beginning of the weekend, and I keep looking, and I
It's
found
horrible.
nothing.
So
I
sad.
still don't have a name.
So sad.
So
I had a name, but I would have to deep dive to find it right now. But I'll get that out for you this afternoon and get it to you.
Dangerous shore break.
Yes.
If you're out there swimming, don't be dumb, because here's some things. Those big waves that I'm sure some of you probably have been in something, but probably not like it's been, hopefully. Those waves will roll and roll and roll coming in and going out and do the same thing. They sweep in and they sweep out. They can turn you over and over and over, especially those coming in. And when they turn over and over and over, whether you're a surfer, whether you're a swimmer, or whether you're a fisherman that gets caught up in it, they can send you head first, plunging to the bottom, and that can break your neck,
Something else
cause
you need
back injuries.
Yeah, something else you need to consider too. You may be, just walking into that ocean, maybe get up to your knees, and the next
Wham.
step
You're
is
down.
a hole. As you could be on a shelf. You just don't know what lies under that water. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
If you've got to drive, today, I know a lot of you are going to head for work anyway. If travel is required, leave now. If it's a noon, if you got to report by noon or an appointment or whatever, leave now.
Why?
Because conditions, you need to allow extra time. You do not need to be driving the speed limit. You need to be driving less than the speed limit.
True. There was no traffic this morning.
Yeah, you were lucky.
Thank goodness.
A lot of places will be closed or whatever.
Right.
But don't forget, school, as far as we know, is in session.
I don't think so. I think it's a teacher's work day.
Oh, it's a teacher's
Generally,
work
they
day.
combine that with the federal
Okay.
because of the federal being off.
Okay. Well, maybe there won't be as much traffic with the holiday today.
Right.
But if travel is required, slow down, allow extra time. Some roads may be closed. You may have to drive around. Some streets and neighborhoods could be closed. You don't know, depending upon where in Eastern North Carolina you're going to go. You have to drive around the whole neighborhood to find another exit.
There was a lot of flooding pictures on social media this week. A lot of flooding pictures.
If there are barricades in the roadway, cones that are across the road or one lane of that road, do not drive around that stuff. Turn around, go find another route. If it's been a lot of water flowing across the road from one side to the other, after a period of time, it's a good chance that it will be flowing underneath the pavement and can undermine it and create a hole underneath the bridge, underneath the pavement. And that pavement is very weak. And in the first opportune moment, a car that drives across is going to go plunging down. If that ravine that's there has got a lot of flowing water in it, you'll be dragged over to the other side, and people drown like that.
Well, we should
regularly.
Special guest coming in a few minutes.
Slow your butts down, okay?
Yes.
And take the necessary actions to protect flood-prone property as well. Now, it's cooler, but the snakes are still out. Now, snakes like higher ground. Copperheads out that hang around in the low-lying areas, when they flood up, lots of flooding in those areas, when you go to your back deck or whatever, a wood pile, whatever, they may have gone and sought refuge there. Just saying, be careful, because it will still bite you.
Yep.
All right, looking at the marine forecast out to 20 nautical miles, the reasons you should not go there include a small craft advisory in effect through Friday morning. The entire week, small craft advisory at this point in time. Northerly winds today, 20 to 25 knots offshore with gusts to 30 knots. Seas, 5 to 8 feet, 4 to 6 near shore. That's going to be rough trying to get there. I would definitely not do it. Sounds and rivers rough. Tuesday, tomorrow, northwesterly winds 15 to 20 with gusts up to 25 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. 3 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. Wednesday, northerly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25 in the morning. Seas 4 to 6, 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers are going to be choppy.
And today, on this Columbus Day and my daughter's birthday,
Happy birthday to
yeah,
you.
happy birthday, Melinda. A chance of morning showers, cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 69, north wind 10 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 18. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 55. Tuesday, partly sunny with a high near 72. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 76.
Well, gentleman has just arrived.
Yes.
He survived. He made it here.
I did. It's nasty out.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's that mist.
The official weather report is it's nasty out
It
there.
is nasty out.
I couldn't have said it better.
Senator Michael Lazar,
Good morning.
how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. Good
Yeah,
morning, Lee.
Good
I
morning.
thought I was going to bring some life jackets out this morning just in case.
It is a little wet.
Yeah.
Look, he's
What?
got his long sleeves on.
Yeah, I'm cold.
He's
this
got his
morning.
thermal shirt
Yeah,
on.
I'm not messing around.
Yeah, it is chilly. It is chilly.
Well, we all bundled up.
I love Chicago for a reason, and that's not to be cold.
It got you ready, right?
Yeah,
You love Chicago for a reason because it's up there and not here.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So doing well?
Doing good. Doing good. Happy to be home for a few days. And,
Yeah.
well, actually, back in Raleigh tomorrow. But
No.
So they gave you a reprieve for a few days, huh?
well, right now it's somewhat campaign season. We're doing
Yep.
a lot of fundraisers and taking care of each other right now, but
Okay. Now let's do this again.
doing some work in between.
Michael Lazaro, Senator for the great state of North Carolina, or for this county in the great state of North Carolina. Who's running against you?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything yet, and hopefully,
They generally
if-
haven't lately.
if the folks will honor me to serve another term, I would be glad to do that.
The question is,
Yeah.
Rayford, who thinks they can?
Well, I never take that for granted.
I know you don't.
It's a humbling experience to serve and represent the people of Onslow County, and
We
I
do.
certainly never take that for granted.
Well,
Very appreciative, and if they'll have me another term, I will certainly
Well,
do
you
my
spent,
best.
you spent quite a few years in city council, on city council.
Yes,
did.
Mayor
And-
Pro Tem.
And as mayor pro
15
tem for a long
years,
time.
yeah.
15 years.
Mhm.
Wow.
Actually, the other day it was interesting. We were walking the block party downtown,
Mhm.
and just reflecting back on when we started those discussions, and then to see it completed and
Yes.
people enjoying it. Same thing. Ironically, I was driving past the bus station, the new bus station,
Oh, yes.
and we were
Trusted.
talking about that. We started
Oh,
those
yes.
discussions
Yes.
literally 17 years ago.
Wow.
And to see it complete and doing what we thought that it should do is rewarding. So
That's good.
there are some rewards there.
Yeah. Did you ever think the first time that you ran for state senator, did you ever look ahead? Did you ever see yourself this far ahead, doing all the things you've done?
I'm not that sort of person, but it was a bit nerving to know that Senator Harry Brown had done so well for us
Yes,
and
he had.
achieved such high levels that going in behind them was a little bit nerve-wracking. So I didn't think too far ahead. I didn't know what to expect, and
Well,
I just
you
took it
walked
one
right
day at a
in.
time. And
Yes.
And you had 15 years of experience before you got there
I did.
representing the area. So
I did.
it's not something like it was foreign to you.
It wasn't fresh, and but there's still a lot of unknowns.
Sure.
But certainly wasn't fresh. And serving as the president of the league for the several years that I did get to spend a lot of time in Raleigh and working with mayors across the state and really understanding issues that affected or impacted the different municipalities across the state. different population, but basically the same issues: infrastructure, public safety, all the things that affect the most cities, and just at different levels.
Every city sounds alike. Every county sounds
Exactly.
alike, don't they?
Right.
They do.
With some extra things we don't have the hills to worry about.
That's right. And you learn a lot about North Carolina. Most people don't realize that we have about 245 cities and towns in North Carolina that are below a 5,000 population.
Yeah.
So, that there's a lot of challenges. That absolutely. So
Well, those guys have got,
and they have to meet the same sort of, financial requirements and audit requirements. When you become a city, just to have that term, it's not just a term. You have to provide services. You have to provide public safety. You have to adhere to some strict finance guidelines, and many of the cities struggle to have audits. So, anyways, learned a lot about North Carolina and cities. And
Onslow County, how are we looking?
Onslow is looking great. Our population continues to grow. Of course, we have a lot of projects that are near completion. One place, the Museum of the Marine, is almost complete. I think May completion date. We have some infrastructure projects that are continuing. Onwassa has some major projects. City of Jacksonville has some major projects, and one of them being the indoor recreation, the 400 acres that they've been working on, which I think in the end will be truly amazing for Onslow County. So a lot of great things going on. And the various municipalities, Swansboro, Richlands is busting at the seams.
Sure
and
they all have their
Holly Ridge. And
they have their unique excitement.
everyone has a unique set of challenges. Holly Ridge, as I indicated, they're growing leaps and bounds. So, each one has some unique needs and things that they need, and I'm very attentive to all of it.
Is it? It's great to grow, I'm sure. Lots of, particularly in municipalities, they love to grow. They have for years, and at one time you had forced annexation. You could just continue to grow beyond your boundaries if you wanted to.
That's right.
That doesn't happen anymore. But suppose people are volunteering to come into a city, and they want to do this, they want to do that. Are there some warnings for cities like that? Can you grow too fast, especially if you're a little city to begin with?
Oh, absolutely. So when the General Assembly did away with involuntary annexation, we still had the ability for voluntary annexation. And essentially, if, let's just say, a new development is coming off of Gum Branch, and it's a 400 unit development, and they would like to have city services, they can petition for annexation, for voluntary annexation. And then, of course, and this happened a couple times while I was in office, we would analyze what the cost of that versus the tax revenue would be, and of course what the impact is. Because one of the things that is important is, when a major development like that comes in place, you have to make sure your infrastructure is prepared for it. You have to make sure that you have ample amount of public safety personnel, fire apparatus to respond, road infrastructure to be able to support that volume of new traffic. And I think the county, is doing more of that as they continue to grow. I think they're evaluating more of the impacts on school. I think we saw that in Swansboro just recently. They had a major project that I think did not make it through because of not actually being ready for that sort of impact on the community.
The lot of situations, the roads. The county doesn't have a road department. I don't know. Maybe some counties do. I don't know. But Onslow County, you don't have a Department of Transportation here to go out and pave roads, do this kind of, all that kind of good stuff. So that falls on the Department of Transportation, which falls under your purview.
It does.
As a state legislator.
So we're dealing with what we're calling orphan roads across the state.
Yeah.
Basically, county developments that have had roads not built to DOT standards that DOT cannot take over. So if a road bed is not built to DOT standards, DOT cannot take it over.
Mhm.
And that's where you're seeing this secondary and orphan road issue and actually our county has stepped up to the
Right.
plate on that. And I think they've invested $2 million in a fund to start dealing with some of these secondary and what we're going to call orphan roads. Statewide, we have a few approaches that we've been discussing in terms of addressing some of these issues across the state. But the issue is extremely large, and that's where developers came in the past and they built out a development. The roads were building substandard, and of course they sold and got out, and the people were sort of left with the bag. And it is extremely expensive to replace and repair road beds.
Well, what happens not just the road bed? How about if the road itself is not wide enough?
Well, not wide enough.
For DOT to, they can't take it over. It's not
we will not take it over.
Yeah,
and
DOT,
houses down. That's a whole nother. We have, we're at 11 million people, and we expect to be at 12 million people within a few years. We have a revenue dilemma when it comes to transportation. We have over 81,000 miles of road bed here in North Carolina, number 2 in the country next to Texas, and we have about a $5.4 billion budget. Not nearly enough. We should be somewhere around $8 to $9 billion in order to keep up with the infrastructure needs that we have. Out of that 5.4, 2.2 billion is strictly for resurfacing and maintenance. So essentially, new roads get a total of $2.3 billion. And just as an example, to replace the new Hanover Bridge is about $890 million to $1.2 billion by itself.
Wow.
Just don't let any boat traffic go. Ship traffic.
So, we're dealing with revenues, and we've made some changes where we've had some additional revenue replacement in relation to electric vehicles. So
I was going to ask you because all the move, and I'm not sure, I don't hear as much about it these days, but people buying electric cars, they pull up the gas pumps to put gas in. There is nothing to fill up the gas tanks with. So there's no tax on the mileage that they drive based upon the number of gallons of gas that they use.
That's correct. So we instituted.
So you lose money.
A yearly registration that basically doesn't fully equal what a normal vehicle would pay on the average of gas tax, but fairly close. I think we have a scheduled increase next year that will shore it up, but we're capturing about 80%, 78% of what we would call a gas tax on an electric vehicle through a registration fee. So,
well, I have a question talking about budgets.
Sure.
Let's talk about budgets.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where do we stand with all the mini budgets and the stopgap funding bills that we have right now due to the big stalemate between the Republican-led legislature and our Governor Josh Stein over having a full budget?
That's correct. So we still are at an impasse between the House and the Senate. We've tried to pass, or we did pass a mini budget in the Senate and sent it over to the House in September that shored up a bunch of the Medicaid rebates and that sort of thing. But the House did not take it up. They wanted a separate Medicaid bill that the Senate was not willing to move forward. But we have passed what we're going to call continuing resolution budgets. So, for example, Medicaid expansion, we had $600 million that's already in place as part of a prior mini budget.
Right.
We had some law enforcement, some pretty significant law enforcement increases that I think I put in a Facebook post not long ago. That basically gave all our law enforcement some pretty good increases that they deserve.
They do.
But we're still at a stalemate, as I call it, but there's always room for hope. We'll be back for actual session here on the 20th. So maybe our two leaders can get together and figure something out. But most of our what we called our required needs are being met.
Very good, very good. All right, let's jump to justice and public safety. You passed the HB 307
Mhm.
arenas law.
Arena's law that essentially puts some harsher restrictions on, well, we eliminated no cash bail, so that's gone. And we put some harsher restrictions around magistrates and judges making decisions on pretrial
It's
release.
good, yes.
That was very much needed. A lot of our criminals that are out on the streets have been put out by promise to appear policies across a lot of our
The checks in the mail.
checks in the mail, more of our liberal,
Just show up, right?
liberal cities, but we've done away with that. And we also updated what we call our capital punishment, our death penalty.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where does that
requirement.
stand? I know Rayford's always.
Well,
talked about it,
the
too.
governor has signed the bill as it's been publicized. But we've always had, so you have a lot of critics on the death penalty, but I'd just like to remind folks, on the books today, we have the death penalty here in North
Right,
Carolina.
yeah,
Now, we have not executed anyone since 2006
yeah, it's,
because of some court rulings stating that lethal injection was unconstitutional.
It's not a problem.
It's been tied up in courts for quite some time, and all we're doing is stating that once those cases are resolved, that if someone on death row is coming up to his date and they, for some reason, find that the method that is being used is unconstitutional again, that they have 120 days to pick another method that surrounding states are using in order to complete the execution.
oh, good. So that won't be tied up in courts
That's
for
right.
years and years and years.
That's right. So it gives them a date, certain timeline that they have to choose a different
Wow.
method. That has been approved in a surrounding state or another state.
What does North Carolina have? It's just lethal injection,
Lethal
right?
injection,
That's
yeah.
all.
Mhm. And that's been tied up. And I think as of today, we have about 122
About, yeah.
about 122 inmates
Right.
that have been scheduled to.
Isn't Thelma on? Who is that? Thelma?
Thelma Margie Barfield.
Yeah.
I was there when she did it. Got done.
Oh, she's gone. She
Really?
did get it. Okay. I
Mhm.
couldn't remember.
Yeah.
122. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of folks, and that costs taxpayers
Yes, it does.
a lot of money.
Well, Florida just did
To,
one, the
uh, for-
13th one, and
For a death row inmate,
Yeah.
for somebody to stay on death row, it's going to cost you at least double
right.
that for the expenses for that individual, because security and everything else is much greater.
Yeah. So I was talking to Sheriff Thomas just a few days ago about some issues, and he's got people that are waiting for murder charges that are costing $90,000 a month.
Yeah.
A month.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If someone from that's incarcerated, if they have to go to the emergency room,
True.
they run the whole gamut of tests on them. Whereas if you go in for a specific issue, they'll deal with that specific issues, and by law they have to do all these tests.
Why?
That costs an enormous amount of money.
Well, you got to make sure they don't have
for the
AIDS, number
counties.
one,
Yeah,
and other stuff.
They just have a protocol of things that they've got to do. So, most people don't realize how much it costs the county and the state to house inmates. That's
Doesn't cost the county or the state anything. It costs you
the
and me.
taxpayers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all it is. So put it up to a vote.
That's right. So getting back to your question on the bill doesn't institute the death penalty. We've always had the death penalty.
Correct.
It's just
Correct.
not being utilized
Right.
because
of all the lawsuits.
of all the lawsuits that have been enacted.
Yep.
You know, and we could look at, let's pick the state of Florida. Let's pick Texas. Let's pick a place that kind of routinely gets these things done. Why don't we just do exactly what they're doing? They've already been through all those lawsuits, have they not?
They have.
So
And that's why
why don't we just modify what we do and just do exactly what they do?
Because we have a Democratic governor for the
that's
last
what the language
100
does.
years.
It basically tells them they've got a date certain time period to pick another method to complete the execution.
Right.
That is only if they challenge the
that.
method
That's
of
right.
execution. You know, there is an endless supply of these drugs. You know that. Endless supply. It's called fentanyl.
And it's pretty effective.
It's a one-time trip.
Rayford.
It's one shot, you're done. There's,
Rayford.
what?
He's going to be on the front page of the newspaper.
I know what he's doing.
He's trying to bait me, I think. Yeah.
But seriously, it's out there. Who's going to dispute it? I mean, God, we haven't stopped them from using it down the streets. So if it's good enough for the normal citizens out there, let's do a double good for the inmates. 122 of them, I think, about between now and noon. You can
So
get
they
through
can
most
have
of
a
them.
good time on their way
You
out.
do it pretty quick, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But, as part of that bill also, we added some requirements for IVCs and voluntary commitments and
Yes.
mental health screening.
Yes.
And,
where I was gonna go
and we
next.
can talk about that for a long time, but, we don't have mental health right. We continue to invest a lot of money in mental health, but in just Mike Lazzaro's opinion, and I've voiced this on numerous occasions, while we invest in mental health in North Carolina, we invested in so many different areas that I don't believe were effective. And, I think
It's just spread out.
bringing back adequate hospitals across the state that deal with mental health, long-term recovery, for the lack of a better term, mental health hospitals, is something I think we need to look at. And what we're doing today is not working. These short-term recovery centers that are profit-based, all these different entities that are trying to do good work, but basically it just doesn't work. When someone is addicted to high-intensity drugs like opioids, short-term recovery is not effective.
90 days doesn't do crap for you,
No, and so, there's different I guess we put it all in one bucket and we call it mental health.
That's the problem.
And that's a real problem because it's so much greater than that. You have folks that they are not competent enough to live in society. And so what do we do with them? They're not criminals.
Nope.
But we house them in our jails because we have nowhere else that they can live and
Wrong.
survive.
Not supposed to. That's just not. The only thing jail is going to do for somebody who's not a criminal is make them a criminal.
That's right. So we don't have it right. And that's an ongoing conversation that we're having internally as to what is the right solution, how do we do it better. But most anyone will tell you that that when we did have mental hospitals, it was a little better than what it is today.
Absolutely. I mean, today you hear people say, well, I'm going to just plead not guilty by reason of insanity. So, and what occurs is not guilty by reason of insanity, they're not guilty. But the judge's hands, what's he going to do with them? If they're not guilty by reason of insanity, they're not guilty. That means they don't have to go to prison. But what do we do with them?
Yeah. Not competent to stand trial, for example. What do you do with them? Yeah.
If that's the situation, they're not competent to stand trial, then we're just going to let them go.
And we're not talking about violent criminals. We're talking about just folks that.
Well, there are some people out there that are violent.
Yeah.
That
they don't even know they're violent.
They don't know they're violent, and they don't know the difference between right and wrong. Therefore, they're not guilty.
Well, once again,
what are we going to do with them?
Sheriff Thomas,
Doesn't make
again, we had this discussion about, he's got folks in our jail that really are not criminal in nature. They just are not competent to be out in public.
Right.
got to do
So
something.
if you look across the state, what does that number look like?
Oh crap! There's no telling how many people there are.
Yeah.
But if you just turn them loose, then you're going to have the same thing
Can't do
over
that,
and
yeah.
over and over again, and until they just keep doing really bad things.
It's
It's a danger to themselves as well.
That's
Don't
right.
get me wrong. Somebody who's not really a criminal, but he gets out and he does bad things because he doesn't know the difference. There are people, let's just say decides he's just going to break into a house. Well, he's going to be a dead man.
breaks into the wrong house.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bad thing. He doesn't deserve to be killed.
No. And we
But
seem to have
society
more and
hasn't
more
done
of
its
it.
job.
We have more and more of it. I believe our mental health cases over year to year are up about 12%.
At least, no doubt, in my mind.
Yeah.
Year to year.
Because they've
And
expanded the meaning of mental health to
That's right.
include everything. Well, I was daydreaming or something, whatever some of the classifications are. I mean, Kelly, she'll tell you the same thing. It's just so widespread. Is autism a mental health disease?
Well, it's just everything these days is mental health is used as an excuse.
Yeah.
And I know
you
there
have the
are
light
always.
levels and then all
That's
the way up
right,
to the
yes.
Too
most-
often the
Yeah.
cases.
Look at the sheriff in Kentucky that shot and killed the judge. Now all of a sudden his defense is mental illness.
mental illness.
Didn't have it before that we know of, but now he has
It's a
mental
good
illness.
excuse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're so much of it, but the people who really, really super need it are getting ignored. So
I don't know whether you guys watch anything. I know you do. You watch everything, but some of the law enforcement shows for these people that are not just at routine traffic stops. There's no such thing as a traffic stop where somebody just doesn't want to get out of the car, does not want to comply for a stupid infraction.
Sovereign citizen.
Oh,
or
those people,
whatever.
they're all nuts right up front, but that's beside the
Yeah.
point. But
But that happens. They
There's
have to
other
deal with
people
that.
who
Yeah.
are just break absolutely and go crazy.
Yeah.
That's just
So that's something that we're having quite a bit of discussion on.
that's a hard one. It really is. That's a lot involved in that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, where do you draw the line, and when do you step in? I mean, without infringing on someone's right. That's really hard. Well, let's skip.
we tried the LME MCO model, which, again, this is not a slight on anyone that is in that field, but I think we could all recognize that while we think we're doing okay, we're really not.
Right. I
There's
believe
folks that are still struggling. We're not healing folks and providing a pathway for recovery. And so we've got to figure out how we can do things a little better and get more bang for the buck, because we are investing in mental health. I can attest to that.
Oh, I know that.
Oh,
It's
yes,
just,
you are. It's just so difficult. And then you have to deal with insurances and health care and all that. It's just more than just mental health.
But everyone has to
huge
do
thing.
sort of a part, kind of like, this tragic with Irina.
oh, God.
That system has no checks and balances. So you can get on that rail and not have to pay a dime.
Right. No tickets.
And we had that same situation in Raleigh where they have a significant downtown area homeless population issue. It's because you can ride the bus for free.
They live aboard the bus.
They live aboard the bus and there's no checks and balances. And again, this is no slight on the people who we're talking about, because, no one wants to be homeless. But again, when you allow a public transportation system that we all pay for to be a place for crime, then I think we need to step in and make some changes,
At some point in
because
time when you do
that
things
would have
like
never
that,
happened maybe if it would have been checked and that person would have had a paid ticket.
would have been caught first.
Maybe.
Well, let's talk about your education and social policies that you're working on right now. How about the conservative scrutiny of the universities concerning DEI?
So that's right. So we passed our DEI bill, Please forgive me. I don't remember the number on that. But basically, it doesn't allow for DEI curriculums or DEI discrimination on faculty and or students.
Okay.
You know, when folks say, well, happened at my school, yes, it does.
Yes, it is.
And we have
We know.
It does.
significant
Mhm.
factual examples of that taking place in our university system, even with the changes that we've made. So this bill basically prohibits any DEI curriculums that basically says that you're inherently racist or you can be a male when you're a female or vice versa. That any curriculum that
Mhm.
forces our children to have to deal with that instead of learning.
Yeah.
You know, our education system is about learning.
Exactly.
It's not about social issues,
Right.
you know. And so our education chairs did a great job with that
Look
bill.
at what
And
was happening.
that did pass. Governor did override that or vetoed that, and we did conduct an override on that.
Very, very good. How about now? October 21st is your an organized day of action having to do with child care funding.
So we, yes, I believe I read that, but we included $50 million for child care assistance in our
Nice.
budget. But unfortunately, we don't have a budget. So as it relates to that, so hopefully we can get
Okay.
through that, and that will be included in the budget. But we recognize that child care is an issue for a lot of working mothers, and child care is just like everything else. It's so expensive.
Oh, some of
But
these
in
parents.
most cases, it's cheaper for the person to stay home than to go to work. And
Absolutely.
that whether you're for or against taxpayer money funding that, it's the reality of where we are. And you have a lot of single working mothers that need to work. And so we know that is an issue. And so we did have quite a bit of money in our budget.
I would imagine a single
For that.
mother, just a single mother, even a married couple, where the wife stays home or the husband stays home to take care of the kids, loses an income, that can put them down into a level
Easily.
that they have to get welfare, right?
That's right.
So you're
gonna pay one way or the
welfare,
other.
you're going to pay child, make them productive. You'll be better off.
Yeah, and we lost some federal funding. I think it was right around 220 million.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about too, bringing that up. What kind of effect is the federal government shutdown having on us as far as the state level?
State level, it other than our service members and our civil service workers, but no real impact on the state. Now there are some federal policies that have impacted Medicaid expansion
Right.
to the tune of about 860 million. Has SNAP benefits for a lot of our folks that need those benefits. So we haven't worked through all that yet, but we expect to have to deal with some of that. So some of the federal changes are certainly going to impact our revenues statewide. Well, again, Medicaid is about $890 million by
Wow.
itself. And just a few years ago, we were promised that wouldn't happen. So, but that's the environment that we live in, and I think that anyone sitting in a political seat should always know that when determining decision making. But having said that, and I voted for it, and we do have an out clause, but this expansion has helped so many people. And we talk about mental health. Getting back to that for a moment, if you have someone that has got some issues, then through the system they get some help and they get put on medication and they're doing well. When they leave, if they can't get their medication and have the ability to go to work, then what are we really doing?
Putting on
So-
the inevitable.
But and it's a vicious cycle. So So that expansion has helped a lot of folks, and so in our continuing to support that, I think is a good thing. But I will say that the financial implications are going to be substantial, not only this year but in the future years, because again, we only have so much revenue to work with, and we have a lot of different needs throughout the state. Everybody,
we're going to pay more taxes,
right? Public safety need raises, retirees need raises, the education system needs raises. Everybody has a need, and we have limited revenues. And transportation, what used to cost $1 million 3 years ago, is now close to $3 million for that same project. So
Nice.
Well, Lee had the chance as a brand new amateur radio
I
operator.
saw that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
There we go. Off and running.
I even got radiograms last night.
Oh, did you get on? Good.
No, I've been on, yeah, but
Good.
I've even had a phone call with radiograms from across the United States, people sending me messages.
Well, I'll need to get on there. I'm KF4RE,
Yep.
not active, but
Well, you need to be active. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do it from your car. We got repeaters everywhere. You need to
I promised to log in from the Senate floor one day.
You need to do that.
Oh yeah. And I
All the
know
hams across North Carolina.
such a ham.
Yeah, such a ham.
Did
I am a geek by nature. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah,
we all
so-
have some geek in
now,
us.
Lee, we were discussing, of course, ARRL, and I think a congressional candidate is pushing for less control by the Nazis in HOAs about
For antenna use.
But Lee
There's a
found
lot of remedies for that. though.
well, Lee found
Yes, I
Lee
found it.
Lee
Let me
found
find it right
that we
here.
actually have a law in North Carolina. They cannot restrict you if you get something ridiculous like a 200-foot tower, of
Right.
course. But they cannot stop you from
I
putting
think
up
the law
amateur radio
is
stuff.
reasonable.
Yep.
But there's a
Yes.
reasonable clause.
Yep.
So as long as it's a reasonable application that they can't deny you
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it's
opportunity. Can't
it's-
remember how it reads, but I do know the law.
I have it right here. State law 2007-147 requires reasonable accommodation for
Reasonable
amateur.
accommodation.
Right. And that with specific provisions that override some HOA restrictions for
Mhm.
antennas up to 90 feet
Yeah. They
tall.
can't enforce it.
Yeah. So really, we don't have that issue in North Carolina. You know,
Well, there are
Right.
a lot of hams that are not aware of that, and the HOAs are
Right.
saying you can't put up a ham antenna.
Yes, you can.
You can put up your
Mhm.
TV antenna if you want to. You can put up your satellite dish antenna if you want to, but you can't put up a ham radio antenna.
But there are some reasonable antennas that you can
Right.
use in,
Oh, God,
in
yes.
apartment complexes and
Oh,
HOAs.
absolutely.
But right now, the federal government has a bill in committee,
Yeah.
of course,
Which is going to say the same thing
that
North Carolina's does.
that is going to help with the ham radio, et cetera, help protect them. But as far as North Carolina, we already have those protections
We
in
do.
place. So
Good. And thank you.
yes,
We need
thank
to get.
you.
We need. You do need to do
I
that
will do it.
from the floor
I
one day.
promise I will do it. I will do it.
You got a
That'll be fun.
radio?
You need to come down to the next big event.
Well, I went to the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
but
Yes, you
I-
did. That's,
he
I
was at the
missed
event,
you.
yeah.
Mhm.
You had already come and gone by the time I got there.
Sometime
yeah.
you're
Well, it was
welcome.
hot that day.
Oh, it
Yes.
was.
It was hot.
No.
First of the every month,
Mm-hmm.
first Saturday of every month. You're invited.
Golden Corral.
Nope, we're at EOC.
EOC.
Oh, EOC. now.
They've got our room ready now.
Oh,
So
very
Yes.
nice.
come on by.
And I have not been able to go to the new EOC yet, so I do.
That's
Oh, it's
it'll be a good
beautiful.
chance for you to be there too. So come
Well,
on
thank
by.
you for having me.
Thank you.
Senator, thank
It's
you,
always
sir.
our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
And
I got some ideas too I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
2026 is when you run again?
So I file in December.
You found it. Okay, so we'll be talking.
Yep, we'll be talking, and again,
I've
it's
got all
an
my
honor,
t-shirts,
honor to
yes.
serve, and hopefully folks would love to have me
I
back for
don't see any
another term.
reason.
Well, you know, Harry Brown, when he stepped down, those are big shoes to fill. And I will say, and Rayford, we all feel the same way. You've done an
Well, thank
excellent job at filling those shoes. And I feel confident that we have
Well,
the
thank
best representation
you.
in
Well,
North Carolina.
And guess
Yeah.
what I'm having for breakfast?
What, grits?
Pizza.
The last 2 slices of the pizza that I got
You're
Saturday
a
night.
good man. Well, I need that support.
Well,
please
You
don't
know,
stop
I
with that.
knew that's where you had been when you said you were out and you were
That's
saying,
right.
talking about the traffic. I said, there's only one reason Rayford would go out in this weather is for pizza.
And that's what I did.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for having me
Best
this
pizza
morning.
ever.
Thank those
Thank
guys
you.
out there. It's some good stuff.
Have a safe day, and
You too,
It's
when you-
nasty out there. Stay warm.
And when you go back up and down that stoop, be careful.
I will. Thank you.
So you have to go back tomorrow?
Yeah, I have.
So
some
you
meetings
won't be at
tomorrow.
any of the candidate forums?
No, I can't. And
Gosh,
actually,
Dan.
Wednesday, leaving for Gettysburg, we have a conference in Gettysburg.
You're not going to do any hunting or anything?
No
like
hunting,
that?
no,
Okay.
all work.
All right.
All work.
Okay.
I promise.
All right.
All
No
right.
hunting in Gettysburg.
No hunting in Gettysburg. So thank you all.
Okay.
Have a
It
great
was
day.
great having
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. Thank you. You be safe. And 73 to you.
73. Wow.
73.
I have to listen to you. That's awesome.
Hey,
Okay. Anyway, we've
Mike.
always great to have Mike in here.
Mike.
Oh, you can leave it here. It looks pretty nice. I could use that bed. That'd fit me.
Come on over, Kirsten.
You said my name right too.
Yes. Yes. I had it. I had all your information
How
down.
would you mispronounce that?
I get a lot of things.
Kristen, I bet a lot.
Kirsten, Christian, Barbara.
Barbara?
They just go
Okay.
for the last name.
Lots of them call you a Karen, right?
Right.
Girl.
I prefer not that.
I know your plight because my last name starts with a B-A-R and is technically pronounced Barrows,
Oh.
like barber. But most everybody says
Barrows.
Barrows, and I just like, whatever.
Well, there's some call you
Barber.
Burrows.
Yeah. that's
Wheel.
true.
Yeah,
I
you
had a
got
boss that called me wheelbarrows.
you got a
Oh,
bunch
no.
of you got a bunch of moles in your backyard, or did have. That
Did have,
they
I
did
got-
burrows.
I'm the mole queen. They're gone.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
the killer,
Yeah.
the mole killer.
I've taken care of them.
Well, anyway, Dancing Star. Oh, here we come. You know how
Yeah.
close it is. It's 11 days, 12 days
Oh,
from
yeah.
today.
It's
Oh, my.
very close
Oh, let's
every
see.
day.
Are you shaking yet?
No, I mean, I'm a little nervous, but
Why?
I've performed in front of people in different ways, like speaking, but I haven't danced in front of people since I was about 17 years old.
Well,
so
you know, we've only. There's never more than 2 people at any of the Dancing Stars that I've been to that actually fall off the stage.
Right. What? Let's back up. Let's back up.
it's-
Kirsten.
it's-
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I was born and raised in northeastern North Carolina. So Gates County. We always refer to it by the county because it's very small and no one really
Right.
knows where
I'm
it
familiar
is.
with Gates.
So we say near the Outer Banks, near Virginia, and then they have a general idea. My parents were actually born and raised in Raleigh. So
and they escaped.
They did. My dad actually sold hog feed and moved to insurance and spent a whole career in insurance.
Oh, cool.
So I was born and raised in Gates County and went to East Carolina University for my undergrad.
Right.
That was a great time. Did some studying abroad, which was really a cool experience. And then went to law school at North Carolina Central, became a lawyer, and
Oh,
actually
you're one of those.
one of those.
Oh, I got jokes.
No, don't.
Well,
Yeah.
So
It's the Barber Law Firm.
Barber Law Firm. So then ended up getting a job at the DA's office with Ernie Lee. So I came to, mostly I was in Duplin County,
Mhm.
which is a lot like Gates. So it kind of
Yes.
felt like home.
Yes.
And, you know, that's how we kind of came to this area.
That's nice. And your husband is also a part of the law firm. Now, I think originally he was scheduled to be your partner
He
with
was.
Dancing with the Stars.
Until you broke his leg.
Something like that.
Somebody did a Tanya Harding on it. Now, I
Something close like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. And
Probably Marty.
It
And
might
he's-
have been.
he had to pull out because of a knee injury.
He did.
Something.
Yeah, he's still kind of recovering. He's getting around now. He had a meniscus surgery and some other things were done while they were in there. So you also, huh? It's like my mom. She's had
Oh,
everything
yeah.
replaced. So, you know, that was unfortunate, but the gal who was choreographing our dance, she's Kendall. I think she just turned 16 actually, and she
Don't you hate
is
that?
wonderful. I have to kind of remind her that I'm not 16.
So she's going to be your partner.
She will
in
be
this.
my partner.
Cool. This is going to
She
be
had
cool.
already, choreographed the dance, so she filled in since we didn't really expect things to
Right.
continue to go in the opposite direction of healing. So
So now she's really motivated to make sure everything goes right.
She's
Because
so
there's her face too.
exactly.
I gotcha.
She's very
Good
kind. She
move.
said, "I'm real sorry for Mr. Terrence, but I am very excited to dance." So she's super sweet, and I'm excited to dance with her. It's going to be good.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So
I got to go ahead and ask you, what is your dance?
well,
No, you can't
that's
say.
good, right?
I was going to stop you before you did it.
I was trying to think of a fake one, and now I can't. So I'm not a very good liar,
Oh, okay.
even though I'm a lawyer.
I didn't say that.
I
you
could
know.
see it. I
No.
could see what you're thinking.
You know, I practiced. I was trained to lie.
I love that. It's a special skill.
It is.
It really is.
She should know that.
Because I was asked.
Having to deal with so many people in her
You
profession.
can't imagine the number of times in the other profession that I had. Now, you're not a cop, are you? And I
No.
said, "Oh, no.
Oh,
not
you.
That's what they would. And I said, of course not. I'm not a cop. I look like a stupid, stinking cop to you.
That's so funny.
Some of your dope, dummy.
I love that. I love that. It's been a rewarding career.
So what made you want to do this?
Well, Miss Candy accosted me.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
So
just
she's got
joking.
something over you, right?
I have always been involved in my adulthood in some way with domestic violence. I studied psychology in
Oh, God, yeah,
undergrad.
that's great.
And then when I went to law school, I was really interested in law school that I chose because they had a domestic violence clinic where we could, prior to, passing the bar, do some practice in that area. And then I worked, of course, as a prosecutor. So we saw a lot of, DV cases. And that was something that was, instrumental to and has been instrumental to my career. So, I've been doing real estate for the past couple years. So you see it a little bit less, obviously, but it's still something that's really important to me. So,
I still talk to a bunch of cops, and it's been a long time since I was one. And there has been an increase in the number of males who are the victims.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure. And I
Mhm.
think, we've made important steps to making sure we're including that too.
Mhm. That's what
Letting
the
everyone know
violence-
that that's really a
domestic
thing.
violence center is good.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So,
Well, that's good. So you decided you do it, and you're fundraising, and you're doing all sorts of cool stuff out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
You're holding the judges accountable.
I will do the best I can to hold them accountable.
I mean, they need to. I mean, as far as contributing money to you,
That's true.
to your efforts there.
That's true. I'm doing the best I can to, and I'm in court less often than I used to be, since I do mostly transactional work. So, I'm trying to make sure Terrence grabs him by the arm too, while he's there every day. So I definitely need to make sure we don't have much time left. So I'm going to see
got
who's not given yet.
12 days.
Yeah. So, and grab those wallets.
There's something I know that we can ask and you can answer is, do you know what number you are as far as in the performance?
So we had to draw a number,
Mhm.
and it didn't really matter what you wanted, but I thought, I wonder what I would want. I said, I don't want to be first. I don't want to really be last. But if I remember correctly, I was 8. So
Okay, that's
Okay.
a good one. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
They're all
good.
warmed up by that time.
Right. Maybe I'll have seen someone. No, I don't want anyone to fall off the stage, but I'll be more comfortable. I'll be loosened up by then.
Ooh.
Well, and the audience will be broken in.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
So it should be good.
That's true.
That's a good position.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was hoping for something like a 5, but I'll take an 8.
Eight's
Yeah,
good.
I'll definitely
like
take an 8
that.
over a 1. That's
Because
for
I
sure.
would rather be closer to the end than in the beginning.
Yeah.
So That's good. That's good. You have any big fundraisers coming up, or are you pretty much done with fundraising?
At this point, I'm kind of, for anything big and organized, but I am still, reaching out to the folks who I know have given some sort of indication that they would want to give, and I'm still waiting. So I'm wrapping up
They
those.
can contribute online.
Y'all may need a lawyer one day.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You-
And hey, remember me, I gave to your.
Right.
Go ahead. You got it online. We post it every week.
Oh, great.
How to contribute. And,
Yes, we do. I've
so
got all your
we'll get
information right now on both our links that are live right now. So.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, our pleasure. And we'll be there. And ticket sales, if you're planning on going, get your tickets now.
that.
Yes.
Well, when they sell out, remember me. I've got 100 reserved that I bought and paid
Don't
for,
do it.
and I'm scalping them
He's
at the door
scalping them.
just in case.
Say that right in front of an attorney.
I was thinking you
I'm
could
on your
raffle
help.
them and donate to my
Right.
team.
Well, that could be too.
All right.
The folks, get your tickets now because it does get to be a sellout event, and when they're sold out,
Yes.
they're sold out.
I
Y'all
can't
cannot
wait.
expand
I'm
that building.
excited about going.
I can sell you some tickets to the parking lot, so you can sit out there and watch the.
Listen.
Performers
look
come and
online.
go.
Right.
But that's about as close as I'll be able to help you. But go ahead and get your tickets now.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
they also like to know what the planning is, and because they got all sorts of folks like Golden Corral preparing the meals, and they kind of like to know what it's going to
Yeah.
be.
It's a great event. It
yes,
really
it
is.
is. Yes, it is.
Terrence has done it another year previously.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I think
So-
I remember him dancing before.
He did, and he had a lot of fun. So I don't, even though he would have preferred to follow through, I don't think he's too disappointed.
Well, by next year he should be up.
He'll
and
be ready.
running,
His knees will be good.
and then you both can come back.
That's
You
true.
Both can come back as professionals.
That's
No, that's true.
Yeah, that's the way it
It's
works.
all going to work out.
It will.
Exactly.
Then maybe you could team up against Marty Thompson.
I'm
What
gonna
are
have
they
to
doing?
really get serious for that, though.
Yeah.
Marty's a very serious competitor, so
Oh yeah, yeah.
we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh, yes. He likes to talk a lot of junk,
He
too.
heard about you because he had his bike ride last week.
Oh,
So he went and had his bike double checked, and then he secured it under lock and key to make sure nobody tampered with it. I think
right.
he was thinking about you.
He thought about me, right? He
Uh-huh.
said, "I better be careful."
Uh-oh.
No, my competition will come on the dance floor. Marty's gonna see.
Ooh,
Ooh, she
see.
has
you're gonna
thrown
dance
it
him under the
down.
rug, huh?
Yeah.
She has thrown it down.
Okay.
I love it. Love it.
So
Fantastic.
you're having a good time out there during practice. How strenuous for the folks who don't understand? It's not like clubbing dancing.
No,
No, you
Not
got
at
to do it by the rules.
that's true.
And there's a certain process. It's a choreographed number. Now,
Yes.
choreograph means you're going to do it the same way each time. Same
That's right.
steps, all that. There's no freelancing.
None.
So how strenuous is that?
Well, I'll say, I felt like I was coming into this pretty prepared. I did a lot of dancing when I was younger. And I haven't since I went to college, but I felt like I could pick up pretty well. And then I met Kendall. And and she is very, very good, especially
Yeah.
for her age.
Precise.
And she is very talented and skilled, and she's very dedicated. So, even though I may catch on pretty quickly, I realized when I'm not, 20 anymore, that my mind doesn't remember like it used to, especially every, beat having its own move for an entire dance and making sure you're doing that correctly. And still smiling at the same time can be a challenge, more than I expected for myself. So it is very strenuous.
Don't
It
look
really
at your
is.
feet. Look at the judges and the audience.
That's right. That's right. So it's definitely strenuous. And those practices afterwards, I feel a little sore
I would imagine.
in a different way than just going to the
Right,
gym.
Ben Gay works.
Right.
I'll ask you like I ask everybody else. Do you find yourself dancing down the grocery aisles when you go grocery shopping and the music's on?
Well, I don't do that, but I do wake up in the middle of the night. My husband said he heard me saying, like in my mind, he knew I was practicing my dance in my mind. So
Oh,
I have gotten a little nervous as of late, I must say. Waking up like, okay, do I remember this? How does that go? So, but
That's normal. I used to go in the garage and practice all mine in
Yeah.
the garage, and I know my neighbors could hear me tapping because I just thought I didn't know it. But
Yeah.
you'll be surprised. You'll jump up there and you'll sail right through it.
yeah,
Muscle memory.
yeah.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and I will miss it. I will also be a little relieved, but I will miss it. So
You
It's
can take
always
the show on the
next
road,
year.
when the old
That's
man
right.
recovers.
I'll tell Kendall maybe once every couple of months we can have a little get together, and she
Mhm.
can teach me a routine.
Just a refresher.
She was so cute. She said, "Oh, let's do this little TikTok, like a video, for promo." And she said, "Which one do you want to do?" And she showed me 3 different ones, and they were whole dances on their own. I said, "Hold on, Kendall, we have to do something shorter. I'm not quite that good." So we did that the last practice, and it was fun. She's
Okay.
full of energy.
Your co-workers in the law firm,
Yeah.
how are they treating you?
They're good. I mean, they're very supportive, and I try not to talk too much about that part, but I'm going into all of my closings, and my team puts a pamphlet or a handout for every closing
Ah,
about
That's
our
smart.
team, something we typed up and use the
Right.
images. So every single closing I do, I'm saying, hey, this has nothing to do with your closing, but let me tell you about the Onslow Victim Center. So if nothing else, it'll feel kind of weird not to do that after this period. And maybe I'll keep doing it in some other capacity. So, but every day, all day, through all of my closings, I'm talking to, some new and some, just people who are rebounding the community about the Victim Center and giving that information.
You could
That's
type up a
great.
new one. I participated in the Oslo Victim
Yeah.
Center Dancing with the Stars event, and that's over for this year. But they have a year-round operation, finders
Absolutely.
keepers,
Yes.
and all sorts of good. You
They
can
have so
type up
much
something
going
like
on.
that and
Yeah.
say use your notoriety as a contestant.
Yeah, so
I'm a
it's
regular donator.
Mhm.
So my team is, it's become an integrated part of our everyday process. So
That's
they're very
smart.
involved.
That's good.
Excellent.
And
Very
sometimes
good.
Christian comes to the closing table and he said, "That's a good idea." I said, "Oh, Christian, I forgot you were coming. I would have skipped this one. I don't want to give out my secret." But he's a lot of fun.
Yes,
We have a
yes.
good group of people.
Well, we've met just about every single one of them. What a
We've
great
got-
group.
We got one to go now.
Now, I think we've
I'm not
got
sure who's left,
Marty's partner,
Yes.
Cindy. I thought that was the other phone.
but
Yeah, we've got
she's
her. I
great.
think, yeah.
Obviously I worked with Miss Cindy when I was a prosecutor, just in
Right.
some capacity,
Mhm.
and she gets to work
So
with my
let's get
husband.
down to your prosecuting days. Well, you got any secrets about Ernie Lee? I'll turn the mics off now. Go ahead.
No, he was great. So my maiden name's Lee. I pretend
Right.
we're maybe
Oh, really?
related in some capacity, but
Any
Ernie
kind of
is-
Robert E?
maybe they
You never know.
you always hear things in your family, but you don't
Right.
know what's true. Now it's probably pretty easy to find out with all of these tests and
Yeah.
kits and stuff. But Ernie was really great. And when I had my oldest son, who's now 11, I thought I was just going to find somewhere for him to go, childcare, and I would continue prosecuting. And then he was born, and I said, I can't leave him with someone I don't know. And it made me sad to leave the DA's office because I really did enjoy my time there. I really enjoyed my time with the people in Duplin County, courthouse staff, law enforcement, defense attorneys. Everyone was great. It's a great community there as well. But, everything has a season. So I have no secrets that he wouldn't want told. They were all, great experiences to work with him.
Would you like to hear
and
some? I got some.
I would.
I'm just
I am
kidding.
kind of interested.
I'm kidding, Ernie. I'm not coming before you. I hope.
No, he's great.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
That's good.
He's I talked to him briefly. We've got to get him back in here soon.
Yes, I did too. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, so your costumes are all ready to go?
they are ready. I think for the most part, everything's pretty ready with the costumes. I told Kendall, make sure hers fits. You don't want any snags in the end there.
Right.
And
No wardrobe malfunctions.
no, we don't need that. So everything's going good. And that was a big thing that Terrence did. He had really great costumes, and he won one of the awards for the costumes.
Oh, that's
so
good.
I said, I got to keep up.
You'll
know,
do great.
It's a good
You'll
thing
do
Timmy is
great.
not here this morning. One of our guests comes in regularly and sort of sits down with us to co-host. He raises donkeys, jackasses. So he's a truck driver. And he always says, hey, you know, you look great naked under your clothes. He always says, I'm naked under my clothes.
Under the clothes.
So maybe that's what you just put out as, I'll be naked under my clothes.
Oh, that's so funny. I've not heard that one before.
For everybody
It's an
listening,
original for him.
watching, I have the links that are up right now that you want to donate specifically to Kirsten's team. Her link is there. There's also a link to buy tickets. And
Buy an extra one.
to buy tickets for, yeah, you can buy an extra one
And
as
sell it
a
at the door.
donation. No, give it away or just buy an extra ticket. Don't use it. Consider it a donation to.
Do a raffle in your office. If you got a big staff in there, do a raffle for a
Right.
ticket. Buy an extra ticket, do a
Yeah,
raffle
that's
for
a
it. See
great
how much you
idea.
can raise for the.
Yeah. We don't have much. There's not much time left.
Nope. You got, look, yeah.
And I think
12
next week
days.
is the candlelight vigil as well.
Yes.
Um,
Let's put
and
that up.
yeah, a lot of great things that they're doing. Like you said, Finders Keepers. We went in there. Part of our, I think I can say this. Pretty sure it's
Yeah,
not.
your
I should,
costumes.
right?
Yeah.
Part of the costume comes from Finders Keeper. So I had the opportunity to meet some of the staff there, and they were great. So definitely
Mhm.
check that out as well, all for a great cause.
And I think that's so cool. Well, we've had a lot of the dancers come in and say that they've picked their costumes by going to Finders Keepers and picking different things there, which is a thrift store, if you didn't know, in New River Shopping Center. Great place to go.
They didn't have anything that
Donate.
would work with the first year that I was in it. I was in it the first year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It can be hard, especially if you're
Yeah.
picky about a costume.
Well,
But
Right.
they teamed me up with the belly dancer. So we did a Bollywood thing.
Bollywood.
oh, that's so
So
fun.
there was nothing
Yeah,
around here
yeah.
for a costume.
that sounds super fun.
I
But
like
that
to see
sounds hard.
Rayford up there trying to do his.
Yeah,
moves.
that's not something I would have any experience in. That would be hard. I'm glad that
Well,
wasn't us.
We're excited for you, and we've got our table, right, Rayford,
Mhm.
and we'll be watching and cheering you on.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
Okay.
I can't wait.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
It's
I really
been a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Yes.
And I hope whoever's last, if it's Miss Cindy, she'll do a great job. And, we'll hopefully do it again next year, whoever's
Yes.
That'll
on
be
the
fun.
team next
It's
year.
becoming a yearly ritual now on my calendar. I finally
Yeah.
it used to be every month, every year that I had some kind of other commitment
Nope.
in the political
Put it down
world that
and-
I could not go.
Yeah.
But
It is a busy time of the year, I
oh,
think.
it's so busy.
Yeah.
But now I'm
Well, the place fills up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all, they're
Good
really
time.
consistent with the dates.
And
So,
there's
Right.
and they're psyched. The people who go are psyched.
oh, yeah.
When they get there,
Everyone's really
they're
pumped
ready.
up.
do you know? Probably have to ask Allie this. Are they going to have silent auctions?
I'm not sure, actually. I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, we'll talk to her. I know where she
Yeah, we'll
lives.
talk to Allie. talk to
Allie's
Allie.
great. She's
Yeah.
been there kind of and watched my kids grow up too. They're in
Right.
Milestones, and they've always seen Miss Allie, so she's done such a great job, honestly.
She's a wonderful young lady.
Yeah, made sure to keep us all in line, which is not easy to do, and kept us on
I
track.
just can't see Allie cracking the whip. She's
Well,
just
I
so
can now
quiet.
because she,
Yes.
the last few years, she's learned how to do that.
I know. I saw a little bit of a different side of her in a great way. So, I've always, seen her for a few years now, and now she's, taking this leadership position, and she did a good job because I think she knows, we get busy.
There
Next
he
thing you
is.
know, time has passed, and
She
we
cracks
needed
a whip.
her to make sure we were doing what we were supposed to do.
There he is, Rayford.
She was giving the chief of police a run for his money.
That's right.
We knew he was going to call.
He can't stand it, can he?
Can't stand it.
Hello,
down the
Marty. Hope you better put your headphones on because
Yes, I need to hear this.
Hey, how you doing?
he wants to know
I
how
think
you're
that
doing.
Candlelight visual.
I'm doing
Candlelight
great.
visual. The candlelight visual is this Thursday, I believe.
Okay,
Oh.
great.
Okay.
16th. What's the date?
16th.
The day is 13th.
It will be Thursday.
It's this week.
I'll help you out, Marty. I
Okay.
know you're very busy practicing all the time.
Well, I need to get back because it's been a week and a half since we've done anything. So
It
I
happens
feel like
fast.
I don't know it.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. That's the thing that's a little scary is, I feel like I don't remember as well as I used to. So you got to keep it in your brain.
Well, they tell you that, as soon as music hits, it's muscle memory, and I hope so.
Well, you would know, so I'm going to take your word for it.
They're still telling me to trust the process, and I'm trying. At this point, I can't talk junk to her because I've seen her moving on that video. She moves too well.
Uh-oh.
So,
You feel you might need her someday, huh?
You got him worried.
Oh no, I don't think Marty worries too much.
it's going to be what it's going to be now. I mean, you practice and practice. It looks like we got months before the show, then all of a sudden we're 12 days down.
That is so
I guess
true.
we're going to get together today. I told her yesterday. I sent out a text saying practicing at 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, you sound like me. I know I was saying that to Kendall as well. And she said, well, hold on, I have school. She has a lot of things going on. And I'm trying to make her promise to me when we're going to meet because I know I need it.
Do you know where does she go to school at?
She goes, actually, she's, I think, in the early college. So she's
Senior.
very mature and smart for her age.
Okay, now, Marty, can I go ahead and break the news to her? I haven't told anybody else yet.
Uh-oh.
The second dance,
Okay.
y'all are all changing partners.
Oh, that would be horrible.
She's too smart for
I was like,
you.
I was out with Marty. I know a couple of people would have had a panic attack.
Look,
right
if so,
about now.
I hope Marty's my partner because he knows a lot about going with the flow, and I need that because I'll be nervous. I'll be nervous if we switch partners. I already had to do that once when I lost Terrence.
Yeah, don't do it again.
Right. Right. No, don't do it again.
Okay, Marty, no track talk. That's
I
good.
know she's going to do wonderful. Kendall's going. Of course, we all know Kendall's going to be wonderful.
She's
She's
so
made out of
pretty.
weather right now.
Yes.
So,
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
yeah, I believe.
I
I
need
have
it.
to say, I got my money probably on you at all what I've seen on video.
Oh my!
Well, I appreciate that.
So you need to put your money in the envelope then, there, Marty. Give it to her.
No, I ain't going to do that now.
Look, I think I need it.
We've cheap.
We've seen that website. We know what those stand-ins look like. You can
Mhm.
donate to my team, Marty.
There you go. You can do it anonymously, Marty.
Well,
if
you
you
can't
want.
trust what you see. Can't trust what you see
That's
on
what I
on the
hear.
video screen because you sandbagging. A lot of sandbagging now.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
You might
You
take that
never
as a hint.
know. You never know, Marty. You could lose that first place.
Marty's sandbagging too.
That's possible. That's possible.
Yeah, we know.
Marty's the biggest sandbagger out there. Give me a
We
break.
know.
Maybe
We
he's
know.
trying to teach me a lesson right now.
Mhm. Okay. You got 10 days, 12 days.
Right.
Get the money.
You
Get the
got
money.
12 days, Ray, for 12, not 10. Not
Where's the money, honey? Bring it on in. There you go. All right, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Marty?
person.
As always, thank you.
All right.
Go do some work.
All
I will.
All right.
See y'all later.
Bye.
right.
Bye.
We appreciate you coming.
Yes,
taking the time
thank you
here.
so
Pleasure.
much. All right.
Pleasure.
Well, good luck next
Break a
week.
leg.
And
Thank you.
It's
I will.
all a lot of fun, and the end result is what counts.
That's right. I'm already so happy to see those numbers.
Yeah,
That's really what it's all about.
Good, good.
there are
Very
no
good.
losers up there.
That's right.
Keep
We've
that
all
in
worked
mind.
hard.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
guys so much.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
It was a
You take
pleasure
care.
having you.
Take care.
And just to go back over the candlelight ceremony,
That's Thursday.
it is Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. It's
Where?
at the Riverwalk Park, 421
downtown.
Court Street. Right. And there will be a reception at the Council for the Arts after.
That's
the
up on New
service.
Bridge Street.
Yes, it is. And we need to get somebody in from the Council of the Arts
I
soon
think what
because
all of the
they're having some
contestants need to
problems right
do
now
is
with-
to dance all the way from
Right.
downtown, all the way up New Bridge Street. Just dance and dance and dance. One of those, what is it, West Side Story dances?
yeah.
That would be
Okay.
fun
That would.
for us
Would
to
be
look at
fun.
it
It would be
anyway.
fun. Yeah.
Get someone in from there. They're a great organization.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, let's run to the ocean.
Let's go to the weather.
Offshore at to 20 nautical miles today. The reasons you should not be going out there are simple. Small craft advisory is in effect through Friday morning. Winds out of the north, 20 to 25 knots today. Gusts to 8, 4 to 6 near shore, but you're probably not going to be able to get out through the inlets anyway. Don't. Sounds and rivers rough. Tuesday, northwesterly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25, seas 4 to 6, 3 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. Wednesday, winds out of the north, 15 to 20, 25 in the morning, 4 to 6 footers, 2 to 3 near shore, sounds and rivers choppy.
Today, we have a chance of morning showers, cloudy, then becoming mostly sunny with a high near 69. North wind 10 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 18. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 55. Tuesday, partly sunny with a high near 72. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 76. Love these temperatures.
There's so much going on across the country, so much bad news and all that
Yes,
sort of good
there
stuff. But
is.
first, before we get there, let's talk about the calm before the storm. But it wasn't real calm Friday around here. The Jacksonville High Cardinals invited the Rampants of Greenville's J.H. Rose High to join them for some fun last Friday night.
Hallelujah.
It was a hard-fought game for both teams, with the Cardinals taking an early lead and staying ahead throughout the game. Rose was knocking on the door several times, but were stymied by a couple of penalties, an intercepted pass, and several fourth down attempts. And they turned it over to the Cardinals. Tough defense. They held them. They held that line time and again and again, and kept them from getting a first down on their fourth and whatever. Sometimes it was a 4th and 2, and they went for it, and they held the line. That was a great deal for the Cardinals.
Awesome game.
In the end, the final score, Jacksonville 35, Greenville 21. The Cardinals remain undefeated for this season.
All right.
This coming Friday, got to head on over to Winterville to take on South Central High. We need, listen up, Cardinal guys. Robbie went out and bought a whole bunch of Cardinal stuff yesterday.
She did?
Yes, she did.
Right.
We need a bunch of Cardinal supporters
Yes.
to join us there. Friday night, game time, 7 o'clock. Let us know this week if you're going. If you would like to go, come on, join us. Maybe we could caravan up there. I drive, and I'm going to be zipping along the speed limit.
Yeah, he does. He drives very well. I will say that.
So, it fits the driving, because I know there are a bunch of fools out there.
Yes.
And so anyway, let us know if you're going, if you can go. If you haven't decided, just decide. Let's do this. South Central High is a pretty good team.
Yes.
I don't know how they've done this year, but we want to make sure our Cardinals. And if I should have gotten the name of that guy who was at the ball game Friday night, the one that was cheering everybody on from this.
Yes, I
couple of
enjoyed
bleachers
him.
over.
Yes, that's what we needed.
We need that, because he actually, I think he was personally responsible once he got the cheering going, and the Cardinals held the lines that he did on 2 different occasions. I think he should be credited for 14 points.
Oh, I think so too.
So-
And that's one thing I enjoy so much about the games is the crowd that we have.
When we get into it, we get into it.
We have such a great crowd, and like I said, we have a group of ladies the last couple of games that we sat right behind us, and they are so funny.
Yeah,
And they're hysterical.
they're
And then
PG rated.
this past Friday night, we had a gentleman sitting over to the right of us he was getting the crowd generated.
He
And
raised his
that's what
voice.
we need. But I even though Jacksonville was ahead enough at 2.5 minutes left to go, there's no way J.H. Rose could have made.
Yeah, there is.
There's just no way that they could have gotten 3 touchdowns in order. I was filled with so much anxiety.
2 T downs and a 2-point conversion.
Well, it was 34-21 at that time. So, yeah, it would take 2 touchdowns. Yeah. But anyway, it was a great game. J.H. Rose is good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're strong.
Their quarterback he could chunk that.
Yes,
sucker.
yes.
He was
And
a good passer.
I guess they knew who to look for and
And
who
they
to
got
watch.
some really good sneaky moves last week,
Mhm.
the week ago, and this past Friday
Passing
night.
that ball behind your back to
They're
somebody else. It's
doing some
just-
really sneaky things. Of course,
Yes, they were.
our Cardinals did a couple of sneaky things too.
Yeah, I would
Talk
say
about
that.
one of our guys could hold. He was wearing pink gloves. Did you see it?
Oh,
and,
yes,
and he
yes.
he would hide that ball.
Yes, he would.
It was camouflage by
Oh,
the
yeah.
pink gloves.
Uh-huh.
People didn't
I
even
still
see
want
it.
to know. We've got to ask Chris Miller. There was one time when J.H. Rose ran it in for a touchdown, but the refs called it back, and both sides were penalized.
Yeah, it
And
was
I'd
offsetting
like to
penalties.
know, offsetting penalties. I'd like to know what happened because we really don't have anybody on our side to tell us
Nope.
what's going on with the game. And I know they're working on that.
I think
But
the
we were
refs
like,
should
what
have.
happened?
I think the refs should have a microphone they key up every time there's.
Like they do in the big
All they do
games.
is turn it on, and they go through the PA system. They explain to everybody, all in the bleachers.
Right,
Everybody understands what happened there.
right. And there was a couple little small tiffs along the sideline between the two teams. But, they were, both sides were just really in it to
Yeah,
win
it
it.
was. It's
So,
all right. They both
other
played
than that,
hard.
it was all cool.
They
But
played hard. Now, a couple of things that occurred at this event.
yes.
One was the moment of silence at the beginning,
I know.
which was good. Moment of silence for a friend of ours, a very good acquaintance, a man who's been around here since
Yes.
79. Art Fertney. He and his
Yes.
wife Pam. They're fixtures in the community. They're fixtures with the Cardinal team. They're fixtures with the Dancing Stars. They are fixtures, and they have given and given and given so much over the years. Strong
Yeah.
Cardinal supporters.
Yes, they
I'll
are.
tell you in a minute how strong that Pam was even
Mhm.
Friday night. But there was a sign. I'm not sure who did it. Well done sign. Making note of Art that was put up, secured to the fence
Right.
in front of the bleachers. And so I whoever did that did a good job. Let's just put
Yes.
it that way. I
It's
hope
very
somebody took
nice.
it down
Very
and gave
nice.
it, made it. I wanted to take it down as I was leaving to make sure Pam got it. Friday, Art passed away a week ago Sunday. He was on a boat, and he and another man on a boat, and Art, 88 years old. When we get to be ages, we're not necessarily as good as we once were, but anyway, he was tossed into the rough ocean, as was the other gentleman. The other gentleman made it to a buoy, held on until help came, and Art unfortunately lost his life. But Pam, at the visitation at the funeral home on Friday, I knew I should have left about 1:00 in the afternoon
told
for a
you.
4:00 event.
Mhm.
Well, we went, figured we would. I didn't even think about it that much, about the number of people that Art has touched their lives.
Yes.
Well, they went around the block, down the street, and I think they were approaching Wilmington at one time, the line. And Pam Fertney, she had put out the word that, Art's a big Cardinal fan. Wear your Cardinal gear, wear your bling, wear your whatever. And I would never seen so many people in red Cardinal gear at a viewing at an event like this on Friday night. And then there was no way to be able to get to the game that everybody in there would be able to get through that line and get to the game. She came down the line and said, "You got Cardinal gear on." Some of them were told to go ahead, move ahead to the line.
Right.
Some she would just hug her, "Get out of here, go." She
went
stopped
down
and
the line.
spent some time with us and
Mm-hmm.
hugged us. And she said, "Now y'all get out of here. Get out of here. You won't make it." I said, "I got time." "You will not make it. This line goes from here to there, to there, to there, to there." And she's right. I wouldn't have made it.
Right.
So we signed the book and then we left. We took our
Right.
leave.
Wonderful people. Wonderful.
And they're great people. They're just wonderful people.
Art
Both of
was the
them.
one that sold my house for me in Catherine Lake and then helped me get the one in Northwoods.
Yeah.
And he lived down the street and
Yeah.
I'd be out in the yard and he'd come by and either honk the horn and scare me right off the lawnmower and a couple months ago he had pulled up in the driveway just to chat. "Hey, your house was looking good." I said, "Yeah, I had it
I
painted."
love Art. That's the way
And
Art is.
and just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Wonderful person.
So Anyway, they're both sorely missed already.
Oh, yes.
And but their memories will live on forever.
Right.
Now another
And
gentleman there,
well-deserved honor.
Somebody.
Mhm.
I did get there in time to slip on down, and I was like, I look up there
Yeah.
over the press box. Not many people there at the time that we walked into the gate. Y'all moved ahead of me. Up there, and on the press box it says Colonel John Kopka press box. A big old sign going across the front of it. Those of you who are not Cardinal fans who don't go to the games, you may have been to Colonel Kopka in other places, retired Marine here. I met him at when I photographed his daughter's wedding back in the 90s, I guess it was, 80s or 90s. And anyway, she married a guy that I knew, and she worked at a TV station. At that time, I was in television news, but I was still doing wedding photography. And I knew who she was. She worked at a competing station. Not that big a deal. We are all friends. But I got to know John a little bit. He was a take charge individual at that wedding.
Love him.
When you get to a lot of weddings, the mother of the bride is sometimes the mother of the bride to be feared. John was the organizer. Grabbed that bull by the horn. The Marine colonel in him came out. Anyway, John has been going to and attending and assisting at the Jacksonville, on the field. I mean, he's up and down that sideline just as hard as he can go
for years.
And he's helping the kids out there. And as somebody posted on the photo that I took, he said, "You need some gum. You need a towel. You need to dry hands." That's the way he would treat the players, the kids out there. He was always there for them. The refs always made sure they shook his hand at every game.
Sure.
They know his reputation, and he's calm, cool, and collected, but he's there. He's like a fixture.
Well, for those of us that used to go to the USO on Saturday morning for the breakfasts,
he was a cooker.
He was the one standing behind the counter with that apron on. He cooked, and he'd come out and talk to everybody. But what a great individual. He's worked with Senator Lazara here on his campaign. So every year, every time he runs, he's right there helping him. And it's just such a great individual.
It's a great honor to be there and to watch that happen. And as soon as I saw it, I grabbed him. He had just made it onto the field.
Right.
John, come here. I got to call him John because we're old. But John, come here. I need you. So he got rid of his jacket that he had on. He had on a nice shirt, and I said, "This is one that I got to put it because I take pictures and put them on Facebook for just because of the game and the cheerleaders and the band and all that sort of good stuff." And this one I had to get, but I put him up in the stands. No crowd there at the time. Good sign behind him. Did it. I don't think I posted a picture ever.
Right now, Rayford has close to 39,000 views
on that one photograph.
On the one picture.
He made the picture. I mean, it wasn't me. It was just a thing.
It was perfect because he was right and he was standing there, and then behind him was that sign. You could read it perfectly. What an honor. What an honor.
And he just assumed the pose. I grabbed 3 frames or 4 frames, whatever it was. My camera would shoot in a hurry. So I didn't want to detain him. I learned that a long time ago. Don't hold people up who are important. And he's important, I'll tell you. So anyway, thank you, all of those folks out there who have who clicked on his that little short story about him,
right?
And whatever, and also for those of you, because it's about 10,000, over 10,000 now on the sign, the sign that I took with for Art Fertney.
Well,
holy mackerel! Thank y'all. Thank all of y'all.
And because of the picture that you had shared with Colonel Kopka, we had someone contact the show who's also a Jacksonville High School graduate.
Who wants to make contact?
And I've already put him in contact.
Good.
But his organization would like to have the colonel speak at their awards banquet. And this is what got me. I mean, he's going to ask him, but he said, we'd like him to serve as our guest speaker to discuss leadership, service to others, and anything else he may feel free to want to talk about. But they said, but they felt like that he was just the person to be able to show what
Yeah.
he's done with it. He's good leadership qualities. And
Now,
so there you go.
years ago, when I first got a show started, a radio show here after I left television, I was looking for certain guests, some people that I could have as kind of like regulars on the show. And I didn't have Colonel Kopka's telephone contact information. So I
Right.
called his daughter, since I did
Right.
have her information, because she worked for me at that time. Oh, well, just before then. And I called her and I said, I'd like to have your dad to come on and talk about military stuff from time
Mhm.
to time. She said, I'll ask him. I'll call you back. She called me back. He said, no. I said, okay. She said, you don't want to know why? I said, no. He said, no. He said, because he says he doesn't know how to control his tongue at times. He cusses a lot. He's a Marine. And he was afraid he would go off on the radio. So that was his reason.
That could definitely be a problem.
I've never seen that anybody. She said he was a colorful character at times when he gets too relaxed.
Some I want to talk about real quick
Okay.
before we run out of time. We've got the municipal elections coming up. We
Yep.
start Thursday with early voting. I will put up a schedule on our page to tell you, it's only one place to go during early voting. That's the Board of Elections
That's
on
it.
Georgetown Road. I believe it's 246 Georgetown. It's at the end. It's right next to the animal.
Just look for the
Shelter.
dog pound.
You won't miss it. Just follow the signs. But tomorrow, the Jacksonville Onslow Chamber of Commerce is having their yearly Meet the Candidate Forum. And tomorrow, starting at 9 o'clock through 10:30, are the candidates for the Jacksonville Town Council.
Okay.
So they will be tomorrow. After them will be candidates for the town of Swansboro commissioners. That's all for tomorrow. So you're going to start with Jacksonville Town
two-parter.
Council and then the Swansboro commissioners. There'll be a break between them. Then on October 16th, which is Thursday, they will do the candidates for the town of Holly Ridge Council. That one, Rayford, I'm going to that one.
Gonna be interesting.
Whoa. But yes, so tomorrow. And if you cannot get there, you can watch it on G10 TV if you have Spectrum. If not, you can watch it on the Chamber's Facebook page.
Yep.
And I will try to share that to our page if I can. It depends on if I'll try.
Sure, try it.
Yeah.
Just check it out.
It's usually the last time I was at a county commissioner meeting in person, I went to share the page. You can have your phone on mute, but if there's an active video that's not muted before you go on there, it starts playing and everybody turns around and looks at you. And then the chairman of the board says,
Get
"You need
out."
to silence all cell phones." So I'll take care of it. I'll get it done. I'll get her done.
Down last Friday night, Leland, Mississippi.
Oh,
An idiot brings a gun to the homecoming football game celebration after the ball game. For reasons unknown, he opened fire, killed 6 people, wounded another 10.
mhm.
The town was celebrating the win, as is common for them, on downtown streets. The FBI, on at least 2 occasions, said they are looking for suspects or subjects, plural. That means more than one, for the
Right.
attacks. Neither the Bureau nor local authorities could provide a motive or any other details, really.
Right.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF folks, also assisting in the investigation. They're providing DNA analysis and also working to potentially match shell casings to other firearms using a national automated system. There's always a possibility that shell casings are on file in other cases somewhere in the United States.
That's right.
Apparently, there were other unrelated shootings across Mississippi over the weekend. My God, I just read about a bunch of crazy people.
Yes.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is assisting local authorities in those. A judge ruled Saturday that National Guard troops sent to Illinois by President Trump to combat crime can remain in the state, but they cannot patrol, they cannot deploy to protect federal property. I don't think that's right. They should be able to protect federal property. I don't care whether Chicago, whether Illinois wants it or not. the United States has a vested interest in the federal property there and guarding it. The Trump administration had requested an emergency stay after U.S. District Judge last Thursday blocked the deployment of guard troops in Chicago and across Illinois for at least 2 weeks. That's plenty of time for them to lose about 25 people killed? Just wait and see. The judge said there was no evidence of a danger of rebellion in the state, as Trump had suggested he may invoke the Insurrection Act, which would mean the federal government could send troops to states that defy federal laws or don't put down an insurrection. Ex-president, ex-vice president.
Oh, the one who shouts, "I'm not the president."
Kamala Harris isn't popular as she claims to be. At least that's what some protesters are indicating after they interrupted a book tour in Chicago Saturday. She was promoting her memoir, 107 Days. On at least 3 occasions, individual protesters of the group shouted her down with negative comments. All were escorted out of the event as others in the audience applauded. It's not the first time Harris' book tour has drawn protests since launching her national book tour late last month. Harris has faced similar interruptions at several stops promoting 107 Days. That 107 Days memoir recounts her 2024 presidential campaign following Biden's withdrawal from the race after getting the Democrat nomination, when the DNC decided to throw her into the wolves' den. The book chronicles her 107-day sprint to Election Day and offers a behind-the-scenes look at campaign decisions, staff tensions, and political challenges she faced during that period. Now, let's go overseas. The president is getting a lot of kudos in dealing with this mess with Hamas and Israel. I guess some of the prisoners, the hostages that were taken by Hamas, have now been released. Is that correct this morning?
They were released to the Red Cross, and the Red Cross is en route to take them for their medical checks, etc. But they have released all the living hostages. There was 20 of them. They have 28 remains, 28 body remains. I don't know how you want to say it. 28 remains left to turn over, people that were hostages and died for whatever reason. But other than that, there was a huge meeting this morning in, I forget what I told you the name of that place was, Knesset or
I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, this morning with a lot of leaders from around the world were there. And it is the unicameral legislature of Israel is what it is. And they were there, and Trump got a standing ovation when he came in, and everyone seems to be extremely pleased over this peace agreement.
Yeah, hopefully it will work.
I hope so.
I don't put any money on it. Don't bet on it. It's a volatile place, volatile situation. They've had a war going on between Hamas and Israel for 2 years. I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have been killed on both sides.
Thousands, yes.
But it's, it would be nice if they could bring it under control. You're going to have terrorist organizations that are going to stay in place. Hamas, Hezbollah, they got 2 of them working in the Gaza Strip. It's, I don't know. I don't have a dog in the fight. It's just, it's just awful that people have to live under those conditions, and I don't know who's at fault.
It's horrible, horrible.
Federal and local authorities rescued more than 30 missing children, uncovered multiple trafficking operations targeting youth during a coordinated crackdown across Texas. The effort, centered in San Antonio, led to arrests, felony warrants, and several new investigations under a joint mission known as Operation Lightning Bug. Teams from the U.S. Marshal Service out of San Antonio, Del Rio, Midland, and Pecos joined forces with San Antonio PD's Missing Persons Unit, Special Victims Unit, Street Crimes Unit, and covert operatives together. They comb through Texas and national crime databases to identify at-risk juveniles and coordinate recovery efforts. The results included 3 arrests for harboring runaways, 9 felony warrants, executed 6 sex trafficking survivors rescued, connected with support services, 5 new trafficking investigations opened, more than 30 missing juveniles located, more than 120 additional juveniles voluntarily returned home, clearing their names from missing persons databases. This missing persons thing that we all hear about from time to time.
Yes.
It's not that they were kidnapped. It's just that they go to places. And there are people, there are perverts, there are predators, there are scum, there are low-life excuses for individuals that will take them under their wings. This is nothing new. They're basically vicious pimps. That's what
Perverts.
they are.
Sickos.
They runaways. It's been going on. They used to work bus stations because the kids would, as a runaway, they could afford a bus ticket. They'd
Right.
go to someplace. And these scum worked the bus stations.
Scum of the earth.
They worked the bus stations. Not any of them deserve to live. None of them deserve another day on earth. That's personal opinion. That's my story.
Well,
You're messing with the kids. You're taking advantage of them at their weakest time ever. They've run away for one reason or another, perhaps for good cause. But what else to do? Broken home sometimes, on their own sometimes, and they're picked up by these individuals. But they've rescued 30.
right.
Now, if we would do
That's
that
good.
in North Carolina and in all of the states, maybe we should have a joint operation with all of the teams, the Marshal Service, other federal agencies. Let's bring these people back.
Yeah.
Let's save them for their futures.
You just brought to mind last night watching on my mini TVs. I watched the crazies in Portland, Oregon
Those people.
that were out there at the ICE facility protesting ICE. Now, let me tell you about these protesters. First of all, a lot of them are wearing costumes, blow up costumes like teddy bears and giraffes and stuff. Okay, strange. And a lot of them are wearing outfits that I probably wouldn't even sleep in. And they have gas masks, they have body shields they're wearing, vests. They're going up to the cops, to the LEOs, within a foot distance. And like this one girl, she kept flipping, showing the LEOs a hand signal, both hands, flipping them off, using the F word continuously, calling them pigs, calling them Nazis. These are what these protesters are out there doing. Now, can you tell me what they're protesting? Or they just
I don't know about that. They just want to get on camera and they want the lawman to do something. They want to provoke them into taking some kind of an action. One of these days,
it's just, well,
they're going to some pro law enforcement people. Can you imagine a counter protest going in there?
well, this Antifa
war that
groups
would-
that were out
that
there
would-
last night.
Can you imagine the counter protesters going in there?
Well,
How
there
about a bunch of retired cops?
There
getting
was
together?
counter protesters out there on one side of the street. They even brought out a big Charlie Kirk picture, which got the Antifa all in an uproar and their
poor
knickers
babies.
in a knot. And they started across the street. But see, what they were doing is the yellow line that separates the lane. Whenever they went past that yellow line, here comes all the cops pushing them back over. The night before, they had to use tear gas pellets, and they arrested about 12 of them. But Rayford, they're out there for hours doing nothing but in the streets, playing loud music, using language
Not
that
working.
if that was my child, I'm tell you what, right? And then different news outlets were asking some of the protesters questions. Not one of them could give a direct answer. They don't know why they're out there. They're just out there being ugly.
How many
think
of
it's
you were
cool.
paid to be here? That's what the first thing I'd. How many of you, were you paid to be here? Were you paid to be here? Were you paid? I would ask all of them. Are you getting any money? And if they say yes, are you declaring it on your income tax returns?
Right. Well, one news outlet
And
was
what's your name
asking
and
this
social?
one, who was obviously a biological male, but he was dressed up as a female.
An ugly one too,
And
probably, right?
oh my gosh, he could have done better. They asked him what he identified with, and he would not answer. He would not answer. And he got all flustered. And I'm like, well, you're the one putting it out there. Why don't you know? But Rayford, you would have been so mad. Because you know how upset I get when I watch the Frauditor YouTubes that Legato puts on there. Last
I
night,
just think
was,
those are funny.
God, I wanted to jump in that TV with my PR. What is it? What do we call those PR 59s? Do you remember what they
I
were?
did know until right now. PR
PR
12.
27. I
don't
can't remember. It's a nightstick that has a handle on it. I just jump.
I never liked them. They're hard to carry.
I don't like them either. They're too bulky. But anyway, and one thing we did not talk about, we can jump on it tomorrow, is the explosion that happened in Tennessee on Friday,
Yeah,
right after we
16
left.
dead.
Yes, they'll never
They-
find.
No, they were.
They were obliterated.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
totally.
Terrible, terrible explosion.
It's not the first time this happened. Happened a few years back too there, but not to this extent.
Right, right.
This is a place that manufactures explosives,
Yes.
both for our military and for
Mhm.
construction and all that sort of good stuff. And something went wrong.
Something
know.
definitely did.
I'm obviously, being me, I would rule out. I would assume. Okay,
Assume
as
something
the
went wrong,
investigator,
yeah.
assume
Mhm.
the absolute worst case scenario, and I would work to prove or disprove it.
Right.
Work to prove it, and you can't prove it, then you've just disproved it. So that's what I would do, and then
Horrible.
find out what the cause was. Carelessness, unfortunately, it happens. I haven't seen that at a massive one like this at a professional explosive place. I've seen fireworks companies that produce
Yes.
fireworks or store it. Those things will go up from time to time, but those are not the same as military grade explosives.
It was right at the change of shift too, so that's what took them so long to figure out actually how many people they were missing, because you've got some that had already left, some were coming in,
Yeah.
not checked in yet, and they'll never. I hope they're able to find out something.
Obviously,
Do the
the first thing I
investigation.
would do is check everybody who left and see if anybody checked their bank accounts and check everything else. And
Well, I'm sure the
because they
FBI.
could be one.
Because you got the FBI,
Somebody who left could be somebody who left a
ATF.
time bomb to go off. Small one,
and I
placed in the right
watched.
location, they can go boom.
I watched all the pressers with it, as they come out with a new one,
Mhm.
and that poor sheriff.
Oh,
He can
he's
barely get through a sentence without breaking
Yeah.
down. It's heart wrenching.
nice small little town in Tennessee.
Yes, yes.
Okay, tomorrow we have
Me, you, Tim, Chris. As far as a special guest, we don't have anybody as of
Okay.
yet. So,
school superintendent should be available tomorrow.
we'll work on it.
Okay. And let's see, who else do we need to get in here?
Sheriff,
Hey,
he has
I'm
put
going-
out his
I'm going-
announcement to run again.
Oh, well, that's just part of what his announcement is, but I've got,
I want him in here.
there's some other stuff, but I've got to go by and talk to him. So it'll either be today or tomorrow,
Okay,
whenever he has a moment.
you do that and pick a date for him. Tell him when he's coming in.
Mhm. Oh, no. I ask him if
No,
this is,
tell him. You'll be here.
I'll ask him if this is convenient. If not, tell me a better day.
Yeah, I'm just
That's the way
kidding.
you
I'm
do
just
that.
picking Chris.
Sir Chris.
Sir Chris, Sheriff,
Yeah.
Sir,
Uh-huh. Boss.
Boss. Right. Anyway, we'll have him in soon too.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow morning. And let's see, did we have? Oh yeah, we had a line working because Marty called in.
Yes, it was
I was
quiet
just
this
checking to see if
morning.
my phone was
Everybody,
working.
well, it's a holiday. People are home. They're
They are.
sleeping in. I don't blame 'em.
Resting up from the rain over the weekend.
That's right.
So we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. So have a
Yep.
great rest of your day. The roads are going to be,
Be careful.
sloppy.
Right.
The bridges are, if you have to go over any bridges, remember that the
Mhm.
wind is blowing and it doesn't take a whole lot to send some of your little cars sideways into the
That's
bridge
correct.
railings or over the bridge or into oncoming traffic.
That is
So
correct.
please be careful and slow your butt down. Okay. See you in the morning. Have a great rest of your day. You're live and local Real Talk, where we're awake, never woke. Bye now.